Hello and welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us. Today I've got my great friend from the CIA, who's also my my current guest co-host on NBC News Radio and fellow best-selling author, Joe Goldberg. Joe, how are you?
I thought maybe you could have one of your friends come up and whack me while I'm sitting here. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day, and I'm just enjoying relaxing just for like an hour here. So this is fun. I could use a little bit of this, a little bit of talking to a human rather than staring at a screen is a joy, right?
Yeah, I've actually been writing myself all morning non-stop from the minute I woke up. I had a concept come to me during the night, a fresh one that I've just literally been hammering away at the keyboard all morning non-stop, and I lost track of time, hence me not having a shave today.
Yeah, but let's talk about your hair.
yeah. Last minute panic before we went on. I'm trying to stick it.
That's for those who weren't watching before we came on. It was the grooming episode of Gavin's hair.
Yeah, the glass of water that I'm dipping into is trying to get everything in place.
Like that water now, since your finger's been all the way jammed.
So, with all the headlines that have been going on recently in the world, there seems to be something that has been overlooked. And for me, I think it's a huge disaster. And I can't understand for the life of me why nobody is going on more about the fact that the hot dog machine has been removed from Langley, apparently. Is that true? Can you confirm that?
I didn't know that. I got to talk to David McCluskey because he and I were going back on the hot dog machine. Did they take it? Because he, in his book, he talked about the hot dog machine. And I sent him a note saying, hey, we had pizza delivered to the front door of the agency back in the day. We did. Come on in, Domino's and pizza delivery services. And then the 9/11 and the assassination thing happened. Actually, thing happened, and they locked it down. And I'm no more pizza at the front door. So I thought we won until they took away the pizza delivery services. So if they took away the hot dog, I was jealous of the hot dog machine. I gotta ask him if they still got the stands, the little stores on some floors. I won't tell you what we called them because of probably nowadays it's not PC, but they were very well stocked as you're getting hungry. I just want my hot. I thought that's a great idea, but we got my wife used to pick me up at the front door every night. She'd drive into the compound. It's the only reason I know her social security number is because I had to use it every month to get her security pass to go through the car. She'd flash it, and we were gone. I was gone from headquarters by the time she wasn't picking me up anymore, so I don't have to worry about that.
Wow. And now of course, obviously, driving up the driveway, you've got the kiosks and the ramps and everything to get through. You can't get anywhere near it.
And buses and crap like that.
Yeah. So
it's sad. Like, why can't you just drive up to your global intelligence service and deliver your pizza like you used to?
Exactly.
What's happened to this world?
No, it's dreadful. Yeah. What can I say? So, I suppose even just to pop out and meet them at the gate now is going to be a nightmare. Because of the fact that you've got how many acres of car park there these days?
I don't even know. It's fairly large, and it's it was built like a university campus.
Yeah, it's a massive.
So a lot of trees, a lot of birds. You walk around the building, but there's at least there were no trails because you're inside the wire. And the walk was when they built the new parking garage out in the boondocks for the new headquarters building. That's a trek. That's your exercise. Parking this just keep snaking. Then you walk through that puzzle art thing that no one knows the answer to. They're trying to figure out.
Cryptos.
The Cryptos,
yeah.
I
had a look at it.
I watched it being installed. Basically, I'm old. I'm analog. Right.
So in that case, you will remember when they used to, and I don't know, they're probably not there anymore, but when they used to have the little tubes that you put your little reports in, and you put them in, suck them up the tubes up to go to the floor.
Read Spy Devil. It's in the first part of Spy Devils. Yeah.
Oh well, look, there we go. It's been a long time since I've read this.
Yeah. So book one of the book series. Yeah, everything that's in there is exactly what happened when they took the tube system down. People were fighting for the tubes as souvenirs. They were gorgeous. They were this smoked yellow glass with leather bindings on the ends, and you rotate this thing and pop it open, and you put your routing slip inside and go to a tube and thump, just like an old store. And then digital and email, internal mail systems. Like, oh man, it's beauty of the system. But there was like people were hoarding the tubes towards the end to take them home and make things out of them. And some people had. I was there towards the very end, like the last months. And some people, their entire career was tubing. And so that meant a lot more to them than it really did to me. It was just cool to me. For them, it was, what they did every day, all the time. And probably many, many important things got tubed through the agency.
Wow. Can you imagine having a copy of each and every one of those reports?
Yeah. You go throop it to a tube station, and then the tube station would throop it back, and then you'd be. That's a good sound. I like just going.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's wonderful.
Like grandkids. But yeah,
how would you write that sound?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, but how would you write it if you had to stick that sound into a book?
THUMP.
THURP.
Maybe two O's or a couple U's. Italics of the exclamation point. I always italic sounds. I use sounds all the time. And clink and clink and pop, and people like sounds. It's onomatopoeia, right? So I like
that actually. Yeah. So I remember like when I was learning about writing, the kind of always engage the five senses. What you can smell, what you can see, what you can hear, what you can feel, and all that kind of thing. And I kind of you're right there. I like the fact that people don't seem to give enough emphasis to sounds when they're writing, and that one gets missed out a lot. So I'm gonna fast forward from Langley to today. In fact, no, let's go back to when you first started writing.
I'm trying to point to Langley. There it is. When I first started writing, everybody's to say I wrote as a kid. We all did that. We noodled on notebooks as kids, and I wrote some a couple short stories, characters. I was actually thinking about bringing back. I think I wrote them when I was 10. It would be equivalent to Horowitz's Alex Rider, the teen spy. I wrote Teen Genius. And I thought about how to do a teen spy thing without just jumping on Alex Rider. I think I would be less technical, but but I started writing my first book, Secret Wars. Maybe Secret Wars. No, I take it back. So I got too many books out there. It wasn't Spy Devils of the Tubes. It was Secret Wars of the Tube. My very first book, the big bestseller. So you haven't read it. Go read Secret Wars. My best story, worst writing, because it was first. So I started writing that actually 1999, and every other day I'd write till 4 o'clock in the morning, or I'd work out for 2 years. And back in the day when you had typewriters and printers, and if you wanted to send something to an agent, you put it in a manila folder and you wrote a cover letter and you put postage on it. You sent this thing called the mail. And
mail is a cool today.
Yeah, I know this. I'm a dinosaur. I told you I'm a dinosaur. And the week, I think this was Saturday and Sunday, the week of 9/11, our 9/11, they were ready to go. I have books about Libyan terrorism based in 1986, the beginning of state-sponsored terror, and about 80% true. And then on Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday, 9/11. And so I got this, I'm like, holy crap. So I tear them all open. I rewrite my cover letter and I say, hey, if not interest in terrorism now, then when? And so I sent them out when New York sort of came to get back together. And I kind of actually got some comments back saying, hey, I like your book, but terror. Oh, we're still in shock. And they were totally wrong, of course. They totally misread the market, because that's when all the other writers took off.
Yeah.
And I didn't, because I got rejected, and it's not a bad book. It became a bestseller and I published on my own. And I sat on it. I sat on it for about 14 years.
Oh, wow.
And I was always there, and I was noodling. And then some life events happened. Some other friends got their books out, which motivated me. My mom got sick. A character in my book got sick. Both survived. And that's where I was like, okay, time is fleeting. All right. So I took it out. I rewrote it, updated it. more modern times, 2014 versus 1999, and just decided to do it on my own. Really,
Yeah.
I queried a little bit. I didn't know what I was doing. I was walking into the walls. I don't know what I'm doing now because I still agents hate me, and I published it on my own, and it went to #1 in the Amazon bestseller categories for a long time. I think it was like #1, top 10 for like
Wow.
2 months, 6 weeks, #1 for weeks and weeks in its category. And then I said, oh, I'm gonna write a sequel. And then I was talking to Kevin Maurer, who wrote No Easy Day, the Osama bin Laden book. And, And he said, no one wants to read a historical fiction spy book. I go, my book is the exact same time frame as Argo, or actually exact same time frame as The Americans. It's set in 86. Argo was 70, 80, 81, 79, 81 when they got him out. And so I'm like, this is hot. It's Academy Award winning movies. How can you tell me? How can you tell me that? It says, agents don't care. That's why I learned that agents want one thing. They want two things. They want not to have to work very hard on the book that you send them. And by not working very hard, they want to make sure they sell a lot and make a lot of money off of you. Because if they're spending time on you, that's not generating revenue, you're a waste of time. And that was the business sense that I kind of figured out. Well, I understood. I haven't cracked it. So anyway, then I put Secret Wars out. I didn't write the sequel. Then I started Spy Devils. It took me a while to figure out the Spy Devils story because I really write from experience. And so I had to figure out, how do I weave this? I mean, Secret Wars is like 80% true-ish. And so I had to figure out, how do I weave together all these other life experiences from the agency and the outside to create or describe or write stories about the Spy Devils. And so that took me to COVID, from 2014, 15 to 2000. So COVID happens. I'm trying to get the book out, and all the agents are going, like it, but COVID. And I don't know where the publishing industry is going, and I'm impatient. I'm tired of working on this book for 5 years, and so I put it out, and it did well. And then no agents could pick up a series, so I just had to finish off the series on my own.
Oh wow! And that third part of the trilogy is out on the 14th of November. Is that right?
14th of November, Devil's Own Day, a line taken from a Civil War battle here. It's I've had this line in my mind, the scene. I've always liked it. I don't know. I was American history minor in college, more Revolutionary War than Civil War, but I've always had this scene about Grant and Sherman at Shiloh, which was the first really horrific battle. The war. More people until Gettysburg. More people died at Shiloh.
Wow.
And it was very close to losing the first day. And that night, in the rain, Grant finally gets there, and he's drenched, the sword's broken, the cigar is going. And Sherman says to Grant something like, well, Grant, we sure had Devil's Own Day, haven't we? And Grant says, yep, lick him tomorrow, though, which is what they did. And so I've always had that. And book 3 is sort of the wrap up, vengeance, revenge, storyline cleanup. We're gonna lick those bad guys. So that's actually why it's called Devil's Own Day, because my hero and his gang, in their way, licks the bad guys, beats the bad guys.
Finish the job.
Finish them off, maybe.
So for those who don't know, because it happens a lot, we get asked about what is commonly called approval to publish, and it's not approval, it's pre-publication review, isn't it?
The approval A,
we're not allowed to say that. So it's pre-publication review. Can I ask? And you don't have to tell us what it is. Was there anything in there that was a big no-no, and I said definitely not?
I'm so disappointed. I actually put a couple eggs in there, hoping I would get redacted. And they didn't do it. They didn't take the bait. I think there's just so much stuff out there now that they let go through, that my little something they didn't care about. No, Spy Devil, Secret Wars did, Spy Devils did, and I kind of ran out of sort of some of those experiences that I think I had to worry about. And I'm
Yeah,
pretty good about, as we talked about before we went on, I'm pretty good about keeping that life separate from other lives. And I didn't really try for Rebellious Son book 2 to go for a redaction. Book 3, I said, okay, because anyway, it's marketing.
exactly.
It's the picture of, and I can post on the stuff the CIA did not want you to read and show the redaction in the letter and the black across the line. Please change this and all that. But no, when I did it in 2014, even, there were some, but the agency people hadn't flooded out yet. That's kind of like the early edge of the wave of the agency fiction writers. Yeah. Finder was out and Burden was out and others, but they're big boys. And then, the sub-tier subclass guys like me, they were just starting to come out. And so I beat the wave on that. And then by now I'm done. And they're like, the espionage genre is dead, in my opinion. So, I mean, there are 5 writers who people are going to write because they have to. Oh, I vote. It's that I've sunk cost theory, right? I've sunk so much time in the first, and I love Gabriel a lot. I love the Daniel Silva series. I've sunk so much time into him that I need to read the next one so I don't feel bad. Now, I've actually shut off a lot of those series because I've sort of gotten tired of the same story, just redone. Characters don't grow. They get shot in the head and they just walk away. I reject that after a while, but and I run out of time to read. I'm sort of a lousy reader now.
Yeah, I tell you what, I struggle recently with reading. It's kind of feast or famine with me. I will go to bed and the first 15 minutes of reading is definitely the hardest 3 hours. Exactly. And or I go to bed and I look at the book and go, I'll pick it up in a minute.
Tomorrow, I went to audiobooks when I started doing Spy Devils in 2017 or so, and I was always like, hey, I want a book, I want to smell it, I want to feel this tactile. And I'm that guy walking in the library or bookstore, it's like it's the future. But I got to learn. And I'm not a slow reader, but I'm a skipper reader. Like all of us, we read in chunks. We're looking for keywords. We flow. We're looking for, the sun glinted off the window of the shimmering lake as the swans flew across, cawing across the sky. And then your eye sees, then the Glock 19 came out of the brush and capped the duck 17 times. And you go, okay, that's what I want to read. Right?
That's what I want to get to.
Other stuff, forget it. So I decided if I listen to it, I can't do that. Plus, I can go faster. So I burned through books I'd read before and many that I hadn't, but like Tinker Tailor and Spy for the Cold and Day of the Jackal, and went back into the top 1,000, top 100 thrillers of all time and got them and listened to them. Because I can't skip. I can hear how they write, and the contemporary stuff, Mark Graney and Jack Carr, all these guys, and Gabriel Alamis. So I can hear it. I hear how they write, and I learned that way. By reading, I'm distracted. My eyes skip. I look up the TV. Yeah, I'm distracted when I'm listening to. But I can do it. In the car. I can do it. I can do on mowing the lawn. Right. Those of us who still mow lawns. And so I have time that I can fill with listening. So I've gone to audiobooks. So when I get a real book, I got Eric's book. I've read Eric's new book, his novella. Online. I just got the hard copy. I take a picture of Eric and I'll send it to you. I'm gonna read it again in hard copy just so I can see my differences between reading it and print. But I like audios. And I've done my first 2. I didn't do Secret Wars audio. I did the first 2 Spy Devils, and I'm not doing as of now Devil's Own Day in audio, and that's totally a financial decision, monetary decision. Okay. They don't sell for me.
Really, I've done quite well with the audiobooks recently.
Nobody buys the book.
Picking up. No. But I mean, I love. So I mean, with the non-fiction stuff I've done with the audiobooks, I try and advise everybody and say, look, if you have the paperback and you've got Audible, listen to it while you're reading it at the exact same rate. And what happens is your brain it's going in twice, and you're more likely to remember what.
I do that. I do that on the classics. I did that on Tinker Tailor, which for me is number 1. I know spy came from the cold, and there's a battle. But for me, Tinker Tailor, which I think, if a young John le Carré showed up today, although he because we're at the end, if you end of the espionage flow, he's a better chance. But if he was like 5 years ago, I'm not sure he'd get published. I mean, I'm sure he'd find an agent, and I'm sure he would be but it wouldn't be the revolutionary book.
Oh no, not
because no one dies. Well, there's a couple small ancillary deaths, but it's all about the inner workings and thoughts and motivations and the interactions of spies and people and how they manipulate and maneuver each other. And that's boring. I need a page. People want a page and a half on how a bullet spirals out of the barrel.
That's it.
And I don't like that. I can't do that. No, thank you. I'll have it because you have to. You have to have action. I didn't write actions in spy novels. I wrote just enough, and then I got told you need action.
Yeah,
and so I added action. And my famous line from Josh Hood was, "If you get stuck, kill somebody."
Right? I like that.
Yeah, like, if you don't want to, I just find somebody to kill. So that's the. I would rather write depth of character, perhaps. I know that's boring or a change or something, but le Carré was not a killer.
No. It was a thinking. It was like a strategic,
it was intellectual.
Relationship. I mean, let's face it. In the real world, the majority, not all the time, obviously, but the majority of the time, that is more of how it is. It's more about relationships and how thinking in the world of intelligence. However, like you say, people don't want to know how people are thinking and how to manipulate people, how to kind of build rapport with people. What they want car chases, they want explosions,
they want bang. Yeah, they want
bang, exactly. And that's what sells, and of course, all right, we've gone through the training for it. We've done all the fun stuff and played with all the fun toys. But the truth of the matter is, if that's happening, you've done your job very, very wrong.
Yeah. We had issues if you had to go bang.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I reject poor writing in doing that. I've been watching a show, and the CIA people are crawling around the U.S. There's tactical teams fully armed, and I'm like, really? I mean, maybe they are. Maybe they've gotten presidential authority to be armed in the United States shooting. Now, back in my day, that's pretty damned illegal.
Yeah.
Homeland. I mean, that is, you want to shoot in the U.S., your FBI or DHS or something. Agency? No. So I was watching Lionesses. I don't know if you've seen Lionesses. It's the Taylor Sherman thing. And it's good. It's got action. And they're all CIA people who are running tactical operations, shooting and killing in the U.S. And maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm not in that world. Maybe they're doing it. But boy, for me, when I worked in the States, we were debriefing people who were coming from different countries. We were going to some nasty areas of major cities. Nasty. With briefcases and pens. And so we actually asked, here's a secret, can we carry? And the response was, don't ever put that in cable again.
Wow.
All right. So I'm like, what has changed that we were going into very dangerous, nasty thing where we were getting escorted by the Bureau. And now, are there tactical teams really running on the border and in Long Island killing people? That's just so unrealistic to me. I know it's entertaining, and they show they got the night vision goggles there, and they're doing all this stuff that's really cool, and it is good.
Yeah.
But I got to have some realism here.
Well, the way it works currently is so if for any particular reason CIA is working on home territory and they have to do a joint task with FBI, the whole joint operation, the minute it's kind of signed off, as it were, the CIA adopt the FBI's
right. FBI has lead. Right. FBI has lead. Right, or the U.S. agency that's the authority agency has lead. All
That's
right,
it. So the FBI has lead. The CIA adopt the FBI's powers, so they can carry, they can have, they can arrest, they can they can do what. But the FBI, like you say, is the lead agency, as it were. They're calling the shots.
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately, in all these stories, the FBI is not around.
No, yeah, which is always
CIA team, not rogue. I mean, yeah, and that makes sense nowadays. Back when I was there, that wouldn't have existed because it was a different world. But
yeah.
if you have authority, I'm all in. And they skip that. And I know it's entertainment. People read. I'm being a jackass. People read to be entertained. They watch to be entertained. They don't want to say, "Is that real or not?" It's like I was watching The Diplomat. Did you watch that? It's on Netflix. With, Jerry Russell. It's actually very well written. I had to get through the first episode. It's very West Wingish. But of course, she's going to be an ambassador to Afghanistan, and they change her to United Kingdom overnight.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've read the Constitution. I know there's this advise consent Senate thing and she's handing off her credentials to the court, Court of St. James, to the Prime Minister. I'm like, really? So I go online, and nitwits like me are going nuts. All right, they're like, oh, come on, and they're like, suspend your belief and keep watching, and I did, and once you got through that little technical thing, it's really well. I liked it, but I had trouble bashing through the wall, especially less if it's a reasonable thing. It's like, okay, common sense, then maybe. And although ambassadorial confirmations are a different thing, but I have problems with like what I call jump the shark writing, lazy writing. That just drives me nuts.
I get that, I suppose. I have a lot of like military friends who are exactly the same. With they'll pull apart any kind of action. Whether there's any kind of military thing, they'll be there going, they wouldn't use this. And
you can't use the suppressor on that thing. It's going to left hand. Yeah, I know. I'm not that deep. All right.
And then, of course, they'll go down to the seaside town and watch Punch and Judy or something, and and they'll see crocodiles eating policemen with strings of sausages, and and they'll be there laughing and clapping. I'm saying, well, look, if you can do that, then you can watch this, knowing it's not real as well. Here, it's entertainment, and that's the key word, like you said, Joe. Entertainment. You do have to suspend your beliefs. We all know. We've all watched these programs and shook our head and gone, oh, But it's fun, and for the majority of people, if they want to believe the likes of Mr. and Mrs. Smith can kind of throw a knife across the room and split a hair from 100 meters away and all that kind of thing, that's up to them.
I reject it. Here's what I reject. I call it jump the shark when it is really important to your entertaining story. Okay, that's ancillary stuff. But if like I fell out of my chair on the third Damien Bourne movie, when the only thing I don't know if you remember it, the guy gets blown up in, was it Marrakesh or whatever, and the briefcase is cinders, and Bourne goes to the morgue, and he's got the pen, he's flipping through all ashes except for that one piece of paper that's not burnt, and it's only not burnt, it's burnt around the edges perfectly, where the true address of the CIA super secret substation in New York is, on the cover of a document that if he doesn't see that, the rest of the movie doesn't happen. Okay. Was there another way to do that besides saying this easy writing, lazy mechanism of having us just ignore the ridiculousness?
Yeah.
And I know I'm being a jackass, but there are, if you want to write, write, all right? There are so many other ways that logic could explain how he finds that address.
Oh, yeah.
Than the agency being so awful at its job that it prints on the front cover of CIA emblemed top secret documents the true address, and this guy's carrying it in a briefcase in wherever he is. And it doesn't get burned up despite. And come on, please. And I know everybody's watching, going, "Shut up!" And I'm gonna shut up now too. But if you're just, we need. If you want to be entertained, we have a right to be entertained in this world in some sense of common sense, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. You got me going this morning. I'm jacked up on Diet Coke, and
oh well, what can I say? I mean, I do like it, entertainment wise, but yeah, some things they get to the point that they're that far fetched that you just think, oh, like you say, it's lazy.
I mean, it is.
When you're watching things like Mission Impossible and there's rubber masks being pulled off left, right, and centre, the old Sam masks, and and he's riding motorbikes off mountains and all sorts of things, what you're letting yourself in for,
right? Exactly.
But when somebody's actually writing something that they want you to kind of take it semi-seriously, then if you want us to take it seriously, then write it seriously,
right.
like you say, do your job.
Listen to what he said. Thank you. Well, I get there's moments of coincidence, and I have them all the time. But when it's that key thing that the entire story is going to fall on, that's an important writing moment. I know it's a screenplay, it's not a book. So and you have this much time, and it's visual and all that sort of stuff. I get the differences. I know the nuance, but if you're a writer in a book, just think about it. Just is there a better way to do it?
Oh, for sure. So I want to talk. So earlier when we first got on the line, I spotted that little award from Langley just above your head there on that side. And I don't know if it's large enough for people to be able to see it. It stood out to me because I've seen them before. And you have another here.
So we get off the wall. Come on.
So
there's a couple more over here.
Look at that one. Look at that exceptional performance award. So, oh wow! Now,
what year was this?
Are you allowed to tell us what got you that, or vaguely indicate, or
the years? 88, 92, 91. Okay, so a couple of them were for the Gulf War.
Oh, okay.
I collected a lot of intel on various topics required to support the Gulf War One. And actually, one of the 2 or 3 little moments in which kind of the same line was said to me, in that my reporting saved lives, and you don't get a lot of feedback in a very non-feedback world, and I haven't forgotten that. It's 50 years later almost, and it's like, 40, almost exactly 40 years, and those moments stick with you because you feel like you've done the thing. And you're never asking for feedback, right? We do when you write a report, give me a grade, give me an E, give me whatever. But you don't when you're doing ops, and I was in covert action for a lot of my time. You don't and propaganda ops, which is even worse because you really never know what your results are. I mean, when Reagan says tear down this wall, and we all look at each other and go, well, whatever we were doing, put it away because we're on the wall now. You're pumping the wall out there. They were writing books about, the agency was pumping out the stuff and didn't have an impact. And I don't know. There's no way to know unless someone says, yeah, we saw that one thing. But, it's numbers. There's a mass of information that you're trying to push out.
Yeah.
But there's no surveys. There's no feedback. You can't ask your target, hey, did we manipulate you? But when you get intel that can go to help support a war, and another one I can't talk about, 2 of them I can't, but if I don't want to, there was another one of the other ones was the You Save Lives one, was not collecting intel. And I can't remember the other one. Oh, I know the other one. The other one might have. No, we got a meritorious citation for, which I don't have a copy of. The Philippines, Marcos. When Reagan was in the office, and he likes visuals. I was a video guy. I was a TV video guy. That was my expertise. And so we were supporting National Security Council and others on a real-time basis, providing video or information from the TV and whatever on what was happening. Because they didn't take over the library in Manila; they took over the radio and TV stations. Okay, right. That's what you do. So you can't write a report they can write a report on it. I can see it. All right. we can tell you what they look like and how many people are around the place and what their statements are being said and translated in almost real time, even back then.
Yeah.
We were pumping out stuff, and that got us a citation because we were busy. Achille Lauro, Pan Am 103, all that sort of stuff.
So do you? I mean, obviously you worked in propaganda ops, and over here the MI6 equivalent is IOPS, information operations. So there's a whole department, same kind of thing. Anyway, I should imagine, very much like myself, when you see certain headlines or certain things happening in the world, straight away you go, "Yeah, I recognize that."
It's hard to know. I mean, I teach misinformation in college, and we didn't have. In my day, once again, the stone knives and bear skins, we didn't have digital. We did we had to mail things. Send meant not pushing a button. Send meant going to the post office or going to the comms shack, whatever. And so it's so overwhelming now in its numbers and its avenues of coming in that it's getting hard. Some are just blatant. Yeah, okay, fine, got it. But a lot of it is so well done and well nuanced that you're like, and then you don't have to be a professional propaganda person working for a government to do it. You can be anybody anonymous anywhere instantly saying something and it'll be global in an instant. And and I don't know exactly how they're fighting back. We were a small little gang, and I was, you had TV stations and you had personalities and influencers of that time and different kind of media. You had them. Now it's create a website.
That's it. Yeah. So it's all digital. So one of your awards in your 201 file, I should imagine it probably is the single individual who has made a significant contribution to the intelligence profession. Can you?
That's that one.
That's one of the ones you can't say anything on, right?
No. That's when I left the agency. That was pretty much for my wife. Really, I did it for family reasons, and so I went to Motorola, which was the leading company in the world of heavy intelligence operations. They created it. They created internal intelligence in strategy and in business as a professional entity that reported to the CEO. They were the benchmark. So I went there because that's, first of all, it's in Chicago, which is where I am, or the Chicago area, and when I'm on the outside, I started joining the professional associations of intelligence officers. It's called SCIP. Back then, it meant Society of Competitive Intelligence Professionals. Now it means Strategic and Competitive Intelligence Professionals or something. And so I joined them, and I wanted to help out. And a lot of them were former agency people, and a lot of them were people who had no clue, and they were leaking up to the agency people. Ooh, you're magical. And so I got fully involved in that. And the thing that I really spent time on, sort of two things. One was ethics in the corporate world, and I'm big on that. Don't be stupid. There's rules to make it simple. And also, I felt like a profession of intelligence people in the corporate world were totally undervalued. We were being treated as toilet paper. They were disposable. And can't just, and the internet was fresh in my time, so can't just push the intelligence key on and like I can read Yahoo. What do I need you for? All right, so that kind of stuff happened all the time, and that's true. That's a true line. And so I spent a lot of time trying to professionalize the intelligence business world, giving people a career, or finance or something like that, HR. And so I built in my world a career path system, and for Motorola, which was adopted, and I gave it away to the industry to people to mimic, and then got really involved in other people's careers and growing the profession and whatever they thought I did. I thought internally I let them down towards the end, whatever, but I got respected. And I greatly appreciate that, and this award showed up as the really helping out, and so that's why they're next to each other, right? Got you. I got they're hanging around. I'm a fellow. I helped create this intelligence fellows profession. And I take that back. It existed, but our gang sort of put some juice into it and turned into what it is today. At least started it. And so you do these things in your life and look back and say, well, what have you done? As, oh, I haven't done anything. And every once in a while, you get that moment. You realize at that moment that you may have had more of an impact than you thought you're having, or the other way around.
Yeah.
People had more impact on you than you thought.
Yeah.
And you didn't realize it because you're in you're in your career. Look at me, I'm an ego. I gotta make more money. I'm taller. I'm an agency. I'm all this. And you're just another suit buzzing along like a drone bee, trying to get it done. And so if you have a moment where you think you've left something behind that might last a little bit, or kept something alive, or influenced the person, then take it and run.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's actually more important than anything in any career.
Yeah. Are you a member of the AFIO or the Association?
I feel.
Yeah,
I believe I have been. Maybe I know I've been a member time after time after time. I don't know if the local chapter is even active around Chicago. It probably is.
I'm not sure.
I've gone to early on when I was really embracing my former intelligence career. I went to the things, and I got the books, and I would do the speaking things. And I probably should do it again, but my time is sort of past. I really, I was an agency person a long time ago, and it was good to get into corporate and learn corporate intelligence. So I had a crazy career. I went marketing briefly. I went to the agency in this wacky covert action sort of thing, and intelligence collection and the other thing. And then I went to the corporate world and did intelligence, and for a long time. And then that ended when Motorola sort of imploded. I went into the consultant world, back to my roots in politics. I became an international political consultant for presidents and prime ministers. And then now I teach and write. So I've kind of hit the major, besides sports and Taylor Swift, I really haven't hit the major other entities of a career. And so my agency thing is skills from the past, and it's not that it's not important, and it still doesn't impact what I write about and think about, but I can sit around and say, kind of like, Grandpa, what did you do in the war? It's like, it's a long time ago. I was talking to somebody and they said, yeah, you really were at the transition from analog to digital. I never even thought about it that way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And CNN was just on the air. Tiananmen Square was happening real time, and they were beating the hell out of us because CNN had a satellite dish in Tiananmen, and they almost got guns in the apartment trying to take them off the air. All this stuff was happening. All these changes were happening. Yeah. And it's kind of, you don't realize it when it's happening. It's just at the time it's happening. All the changes are happening now in the way information flows and how people react to it, and around the globe. I mean, and you can debate good versus bad, better versus worse, but it is happening, and you have to adapt and wonder what the next thing is going to be. Like I tell my classes, your grandkids, you look at you in front of a computer and it's got the alphabet on it. And they go, Grandpa, what were you doing? He says, well, we were typing out information in the keyboard. They're going to go, keyboard?
What did you have one of them for?
What's typing?
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be none of that. It's going to be voice and whatever else is total.
Yeah.
It's like we discussed in my class last week, just for the fun of it, rotary phones.
Oh, yeah.
They don't even know what they are. I said, where's the phrase dial your phone?
From you. Yeah.
I have no idea. We want to know what? We used to actually have to dial a dial. All right. Yeah. Everything started somewhere. Everything came from somewhere. And that's what's happening now. So what's going to come from our time that we have no vision of it? When I started teaching 6-7 years ago, TikTok wasn't even a glimmer of anybody's idea. All these kids are using Facebook and Twitter, then Instagram and Snap and YouTube, and now it's pretty much YouTube and Tik and Instagram, and really TikTok, which I do not have.
TikTok I don't have. Massive at the moment. Yeah, I've got an account, and I really should be jumping on the bandwagon a little bit more with it. And I was speaking to Alan about it the other day, and I said I really need to kind of push this a little bit. I was going to do a couple of videos with a couple of tradecraft tricks and that kind of thing, just to kind of get a bit of novelty out there. But yeah, I'm going to have to start pushing a
I
lot
know.
harder.
It's the evil empire. I mean, it's the one that of all of them,
but it is for today, because I mean, it was what 10 years ago. It was everything was Facebook, and then it was, and then everything was Twitter, and then and these.
But that's how. But no, nay. But that's what they want you to think. TikTok is not like Facebook or Twitter, where it is built to be addictive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Its content is driven not by you; it's driven by them. And you know the difference between Chinese TikTok and American TikTok. They're not even the. I mean, they're you wouldn't even recognize them.
Oh yeah,
we're getting fed, saturated fats and
dumbing down everybody.
And inside of that are messages. And you can say, "Oh, I don't care. Why do I care? What do they care about me?" It's not you. It's the collective. It's the if everybody is saying, "Oh, this person's a bad person," or this message is that, then it has impact. Especially since you don't get to pick. You watch things. You're self-selecting what you're watching, but then from that point on, you can't say, "I want to watch news. I want to watch this." It's and that is danger. I asked my class to do a survey for a week to what's their social media usage? Where do they get news? Where do they go? And in the end, I said, I don't want to running at 7 a.m. I woke up and looked at this for 3 minutes. Just qualitatively tell me how your week went with social media. Then tell me what surprised you. They can track it on your phone. And they're all like, I don't know. Most of the time it's, I cannot believe how many hours I spent on fill in the blank. And it was used to be YouTube and Instagram. Now it's TikTok. I got people spending 8 to 10 hours a day. When they're awake, they're on TikTok. And that's,
and it's probably one of the biggest news sources in the Western world at the minute for like, when we used to have the headlines and the hot sheets and that kind of thing. Now it's TikTok. Oh, what's happening in the world? Oh, Taylor Swift says I've got to love Israel, or somebody's telling me I've got to love Ukraine, or whatever the case may be. And why have I got to look? And then they'll go online to look at what's going on in the world with that biased, kind of. I've been told I must love this country or this event or this person, and
well, it's the only growing news source for 18 to 24-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
All other social media platforms are down. These in the U.S. I'm sure it's for the world. I think it's also for the globe too. It's the only growing. I actually asked them, "How do you get news on TikTok?" And they say those things. Taylor puts something up or some. And now, if eyeballs are there, the news services they have their TikTok channels, and I'm all in on that. And I know it's a great marketing tool. And we're writing books. You want to market, you want to sell books, and all this, book talk. Made people. I was telling the story. I saw it somewhere. And I missed doing it. But your story, I take it back. But somebody was in like Nowhereville, United States, and saw some guy at a bookstore. No one was paying attention to him. He was just wrote his little book. And so this person went on TikTok, Book Talk, and took a video of him saying, "Buy Barney's book." And he became a bestseller. Not because of quality, not because of anything, because somebody went on TikTok and said, "Buy Barney's book."
Yeah. Told them.
I'm now making it up, but I'm like, is that right? Is that what people I don't know. I mean, it's great. The power of TikTok. The point is the power of TikTok. With one person posting in Nowheresville, because they had the followers and the whatever they call them on TikTok, they can create a bestseller with the.
It's good in some ways. I mean, obviously for Bernie or whatever his name actually was, for him, wonderful. He's just become a bestseller. But you do have to look at the flip side of. What if you got some false information on there? These influencers have got the power to kind of shut down a business. If all they've got to do is turn around and say, "Hey, this particular business here is associated to this criminal activity there, boycott them," then that's it. That goes viral, and a family business that may be a completely innocent party has just become bankrupt, and they've been shut down because one person has said, boycott this name of this company. And that kind of power is very worrying for individuals to have, especially when those individuals could be easily influenced themselves.
Well, let me state, without stating too much, is you are hitting on the basic topic of my next book.
Oh, okay. Ooh, this sounds fun.
Which I'm really excited to write. Ripped from today's headlines.
So you heard it here first, guys.
Yeah. And that's why I really am. This is the one. If I write it right, which is the hard part, writing it well and make it entertaining, all that sort of stuff. It's the right topic. It's the right topic at the right time, which is why I got to get it done.
Yeah.
But you're in the right area of this is how, and how easy it is to destroy somebody. And, or by the way, and it's not, and it's easy to be negative about social media, but there are a lot of really great things that this access and ability provides. Millions and millions, billions. I mean, people have access to information they didn't have, good or bad. People have a voice they didn't have.
Like any tool, it's neither positive nor negative. It's neither good nor evil. It is what it is. It's used in whatever capacity the person uses it for, and will have the effect, of whatever the person desires. So, like you say, doesn't have to be a negative outcome of shutting down a business. It could be, it could put somebody on the map or give somebody recognition that deserves recognition. It could get, the information to the masses that they need to know. So it is great in that aspect. So,
but the negative, social media is absolutely different than any other kind of communication method that's ever existed. And because of its capabilities, it is the most dangerous and damaging, because you can do exactly what you said. Or you can create conspiracy theories in an instant. You can say things and we filter bubble yourself. The filter bubble is you're only getting what you want. It's Netflix saying, exactly, because you watch this movie, we think you like that movie. Filter bubble. and then everybody around you all watch the same movies and talk the same things. You're in an echo chamber, and those things are very hard to break out of. And so now we become tribes. All right. And in the United States, it's politics. Probably the world's becoming politics. You wake up, and I'm going to say it, and I know I'll get in trouble, that, because I know the studies are out there, but they need to do that. Social media's impact on the divisions of people, and in politics especially, and in other the COVID and the like, that wouldn't have happened without. It can't happen without social media. And that's when I sort of say, and so people can come and debate it as much as we want. It's over. I mean, you can't take social media back.
No. It's here now.
Get stronger and even more pervasive if that's possible. My 7, 5, and 2-year-old grandkids can swipe, push, call, talk, look at stuff better than a lot of people. Their brains are actually developing differently because they're looking at the visuals constantly, right? That's been proven. That our brains developed differently in our time frame than our parents, because we had television and we had other things. They didn't have TV. So, I mean, there's impact by this that cannot be changed. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
No.
Of everybody's ability to communicate immediately, anonymously from anywhere in the world, and say whatever you want.
Which is, that in itself is a danger. I mean, long gone are the days of going over to the television and pushing a button and changing the channel and saying, let's see what's on this side. Like you said, this filter bubble that you mentioned, this is one of the most dangerous aspects of social media at the minute, because like you said, those echo chambers that are being created by getting fed the same information, the same types of information, reinforcing your cognitive biases, creating that belief polarization and just basically, like I say, getting people's confirmation bias. I knew this was a bad person, because look, there's another thing we found, and what that happens then It means that somebody could make something up completely, totally false, right? They can put, whether it's Joe Biden, whether it's Trump, whether it's whoever, and they can say,
right now.
yeah, did you know that this person has done X? And the people within those bubbles who see it, they will go, oh, I knew it. And straight away, they'll believe it without question. They'll share it. And it'll spread like wildfire. And of course, the more this happens, the more the confirmation bias grows again. And like you say, the danger of this is it does end up with the whole conquer and divide, splitting everybody into this tribal mentality of, are you this band or this camp, or, and that is really something that, I don't know how far it's going to go. I've seen people on social media having fallout with family members and lifelong friends over a single post, which probably wasn't even true, and you just think, wow,
I teach a whole class on this. I'll do it next semester with my international students. And we go through conspiracy theories, all different bias. My first rule, I tell all my classes, rule number one is everything is biased.
Oh,
Rule number one, they'll shout, everything is biased. Bias doesn't have to be bad. Bias can be good. Bias can be neutral. Bias can be bad. All right. Just understand everything has a bias to it.
Yeah.
You may appreciate the bias, but confirmation bias and gaslighting and all that sort of other sort of things, those have an impact. And everything you just said is not a theoretical. It's happening right now a million times at this very second.
Oh yeah. More. There's that many hours of TikTok play and social media play worldwide. It's
a minute.
I think
it's like a minute. I used to have the numbers. I gotta look up. I don't know the recent numbers, but since we started talking, 50 some minutes ago, there have been billions of new social media posts.
Oh yeah.
Okay? And you can't filter them. They're owned by whoever they're owned by. You only go to 2, mostly 4, some 9's a lot. And so you really narrowed down, and you don't have the ability to actually have a conversation, say, is that true or not? You don't have time. How much of the stuff that you get are you going to verify?
Exactly.
Almost none.
Yeah.
And now, because what I do, who I am, I do on the important things I do. Other stuff I just ignore. I don't use social media to discuss politics or anything big, because those are nuanced, tough conversations, and social media is not the place. Even a forum. Words have power. Words have tremendous power. Words spoken have power differently than words that are written power. And if they're spoken, you can get more of a context, back to the 5 senses of writing. And when they're written, you get two-dimensional context. And that's happening to people who all they want is to be part of a community and have what they believe verified. Not that they're stupid, not that they're doctors and lawyers and they're intelligent people. We're all humans. So that's why I say it's over. I don't know what it might be. But the current world order, the rules-based world order, the post-UN, post-World War II world that was based upon certain rules, which we now are being totally wiped out.
Pretty much.
If it's human interaction that used to generate certain things. Yeah, hell, AI, great. I mean, for medicine, AI can destroy the world. Take your pick, all right? 1 year ago, now it's almost a year and a half ago, one of my I teach some State Department sponsored students, and they have to teach for 5-10 minutes of teaching moment. So I get a day off of teaching. They got pick an issue and they got to write about it, to present on it. And a year and a half ago, Alexi talked about this thing called Chat GBT. I had never heard of it before. I was writing it down. He was showing it. He was writing fake stuff in real time. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's amazing.
7 months later, it is the story. Everybody knows chat. They got it on their phones. They got it on their computer. 60 Minutes can't run enough stories on it. 7 months ago, prior to that time, nobody, and I follow the industry. I had never heard of it. Shame on me for not hearing about it. But it took the student, I started paying attention. But for the rest of the people who were worrying about getting to work and back and their paycheck, they were now everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how fast we're moving. That's why it's over. And I can't define what it's over necessarily means, but we're not going back.
Oh no, definitely not. And
we're not going back. And I'm saying we're not going back just the way we communicate. We're not going back in anything.
Mm-hmm. No,
religion, politics, social interaction, buying the groceries, relationship between families, all that was, if not now, in a reasonable amount of time, will be totally over.
Oh yeah, it's a changing world that whatever, we don't necessarily know what it's going to change into, but we know what it's going to change from, and we know that it's not going to be reversible. That's for sure.
And everything's connected. So everything, nothing started today. This all started with the Romans and before.
Oh yeah.
They put painted stuff on the walls. That's a billboard. All right. So this isn't a negative conversation. I guess from the point of view of who we are and what we do for a living is, how do we as entertainment writers, how do we capture that in our writing? Are we this escapism moment for these people who are being overwhelmed by social media feeds? I mean, hell, we use social media to extremes to get our books marketed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm only on X or Twitter so I can market my books now. It's almost my main news source, but that's going down. But so where is our role as entertainment providers?
I think you're right when you say that moment of escapism is what we're providing, because if you look at the fact that you read a book and and it'll leave a cliffhanger and you think, oh, hang on, the main character's just been shot, right? And you go, well, he's not dead. He's not. You're halfway through the book.
Right.
So he can't die yet, So, but you've got to carry on reading, And then there's this thing, he'll be in a threatening situation, and you need to carry on reading to see if he's going to make it. And of course, he's going to make it, because there wouldn't be a book without him. But for some reason, you need that. So people are very, very aware that this is entertainment, and that there is going to be a happy ending, and he's not going to die, and he's not going to fail, and whatever else. But they need that escapism. They need to read. They need that kind of entertainment, and it can be anything. And I think this is why a lot of writers are not mentioning COVID at all. So many writers I've spoken to. And I'll say, are you going to put 2020? No. It's not going to exist in the world of literature, because nobody wants to live it or relive it, or even think about it. They want to escape and get into some, escapism, as it were. So, and I can fully understand that.
Well, then I would say we're in a tough business because, anybody can publish a book. They may not be writers, because I can write a book. Okay, you can get a book out. All right, I get that. Self-publishing, that's what I do. But there's a spectrum of good versus bad. But if the amount of information is already overwhelming, how is somebody who's meant to be escapism? How do you get your voice out that you think that you're having are you only that you're having an impact? Are you only worrying about your 150, your 1,000, your 3,000 friends? Is that enough? And even that, those people under assault from all the other entertainment providers that don't want to, I'm all in on audiobooks, but the audiobook experience or the people writing books through AI. I use AI to get ideas. I'll admit it. Right. I use it in class. I'll write a survey, write me a survey, and I'll tell my class, this is AI driven. Right? But if I need to think of an idea and how to phrase it, I will ask. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to copy and paste, but it stimulates the way I think, and I really appreciate it. When you post a book now, they ask, is any content in here from AI? All right, and especially on Amazon, and they're striking or did strike in Hollywood on partially the AI issue. Why have a book writer when I can write a book? You can sit down right now, listener, and say, write me a 30,000 word novella on ducks killing bunnies. And up it comes.
Wow. That's it's unbelievable, isn't it? Oh, you've frozen, Joe. Are you still with us?
I'm still here.
Oh, sorry. Visuals have got you in a karate shop. Oh, there we go. There you were in a.
Yeah, that was
karate.
cool. We also had fun there for. I think
Right.
maybe they are listening.
It's the AI bots who are plotting against you.
He's yapping too much. Take him down. Take him down. All right. Them. I would take me down too. Don't listen to this. Skip over this episode. Go someplace else.
So I'm aware I've kept you over the hour, so I won't keep you much longer. But I mean, thank you for that. I'm gonna go on again just to mention Devil's Own Day is obviously the last in the trilogy, which is out on the 14th of November. I will put a link to that down in the comments if you can send me one over a bit later. As always, I love chatting with you because you're just such a great person to get along with. We've got a lot of very similar views.
Chatty Cathy, as they used to say back in the old days.
I love having conversations that have a little bit of depth rather than the kind of hi, how's the weather kind of stuff that goes on.
Write your book, what's your process? Are you a pantser or are you a
Now, the usual questions have all been asked, and like you say, people are fed up of that kind of thing. So it's nice to get into a little bit into your career, your thoughts, and that kind of thing. How you kind of went from one extreme to the other. So, and I'm interested in this next book. I'm going to wait until you've got your first draft written, and then I'm going to pester you for a copy.
I literally actually used the word barfed out my prologue a couple of weeks ago, and because I'm a slow writer, I got to think about it. So I got to try not to be just to get it on paper, whatever we call it, get it in the computer. We still get it on paper, get it in draft. But that's going to take me a little bit because it's not espionage, but it's still thriller, and it's a type of thriller genre I have not written. I've read a lot. I'm reading a lot right now to get up to speed and learn. But I've actually asked ChatGPT, what are the characteristics of this kind of book?
Oh, wow. And
it gave me all the things. Okay. And so I can say, now we got a general idea. And now I don't need to take a writing class, although it's stupid. I'll go master's classes are good, but but that's an assistance. That's a help. But I'm looking forward to it. I think I'll be happy maybe to share it with you. If you sign an NDA and give me your left fingers.
Of course, no problem at all.
You signed a few NDAs in your life, so
yeah, I've got the official secret that ChatGPT link that you used, is there a particular favorite that you have, or do you
use Chat? Just go to ChatGPT. It's OpenAI is the website, and you can go to. I have Apple. You can download the app. I got two of them. One is that's Threads.
Because I'm old fashioned. I use my brain for everything. It's dreadful. And as I get older, it gets slower.
Brain. Lord, coach, brain. I don't know if there's a ChatGPT app. Then there's AI chat bot, something or other, and they do a little bit different things. I mean, you can ask one of them here to say, "I did it." Actually, I did it. I won't tell you exactly what it was. I said, "Write me this kind of story written by someone who's this." I just want, because it's stuff I've written before. I just want to see what it came up with, and it did it. It didn't do it perfectly. It did it stiltedly. But once again, you can take your ChatGPT content and run it through a humanizer, it's called, and it'll humanize your ChatGPT stuff, so it makes it less computerized.
Oh, wow.
So it's almost impossible for the detectors right now, or it was a few months ago, to detect chat-driven text because they've humanized it through the humanizers.
Wow.
I mean,
I
didn't do that, but I just wanted to see the structure of what this thing thought this story would look like, and I agreed with it, and it uses a template.
So with all that, and a lot of the you've heard of all the deep fake stuff where the voice samples and all the other stuff, it makes you wonder if in a few years' time people like you and I will be completely obsolete, and the general population, rather than buying a book or choosing a book or looking for a book or that kind of thing, whether it's audio book, whether it's ebook, might just sit down and say, "Hey, ChatGPT, I want a story on a superhero that comes from another planet and saves the world from a nuclear war." And in real time, it kind of writes it and turns it into an audio book and tells it to him.
It does that today.
Yeah. But I mean, for the end user, So they don't even need to look for an author or a story.
Right.
They say, hey, this is the story I want. Give it to me.
Which is why the main authors are now suing. The bigs are suing to not allow ChatGPT to use their books inside any of their search responses. That's lawsuit now. That's for that reason.
Oh wow!
All OpenAI and Chat does is learn the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's learned up to 2021 now, maybe. And so I actually typed in who are the spy devils because it was before the book came out.
Okay.
But if you want to do it, all it's doing is reading all the Patterson and all the Cromwell and saying, okay, that's how you write these kind of books. We're just going to spit it out, and you don't need to buy a Patterson or Cromwell. Wow. We'll give it to you for free because we've read them all. We'll use them all that content and how to do it, and we'll spit it out. And that's the lawsuit. That's what the TV writers and movie writers and actors, they don't want their images being used. I mean, this is 2023.
Yeah.
Facebook went online for real in 2005, 18 years ago. I was at Motorola. They came and said, hey, what's this Facebook thing? Can we put it on the phone? Tell me about it. And honest to God, the CFO of the company came to the office and said, what is this? So I signed up for Facebook that next moment. My account started in 2005. Oh, wow. What the hell this thing was. That's 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So, I mean, we got to get it around our heads, the technology upgrade and its power. I mean, all of my students have never lived in an analog world. They're full digital natives. They have no idea, except for museums. I ask them, what's a typewriter?
When you think about it, I mean, it really is crazy. If you go back to our years where we didn't have sat navs or GPS systems, for available to the public in our car. If you wanted to go somewhere, it was you either knew the route, it was paper map, you followed the signs, or you used your we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have internet, we didn't have any of these things, and this isn't like we're not talking a lifetime ago. It wasn't that long ago. So when you look at the advancements then, and it makes you wonder in like the next 10 to 15 years, wow, where are we going to be?
That goes my keyboard comment. I always ask my class this and on this. When you leave your house, if you left your wallet, do you go back? And when was the last time maybe it has my money in it, but I don't really need money on this trip. I'm not gonna get stopped. What if you left your phone? If you leave your phone at home, you go back and get it.
Yeah.
And every one of their hands flip up like flippers, and mine too, because we cannot live without it on purpose. And
by design.
Gladly. It's a great, fantastic tool. We made it. With the Motorola. We helped develop the smartphone industry. But it is so integral in what we do. And it should be like a television or a car. But that gives it such tremendous power because the content on it isn't ours.
That's right. This has become our ID.
Oh, absolutely. It's our location. It's our everything. My wife walks around about her phone and they go, what are you doing? I bought her lanyards and things to put on her belt because this is you. The kids can only get a hold of you if you have this.
That's right.
I just threw my home phone on the floor just before we started because I cut the first time since 1990 my home telephone service last week. I cut the cord. Honest to God, just before you came on, it's right down there. Wow. You can't call us, honey. They're gonna call your phone. They're gonna call you. This is the importance of it. Before it was a home. Before you went home and watched television at 8:00, appointment viewing because you wanted to watch your favorite show. Monty Python was on, okay, all this sort of thing. And now who cares?
And of course, this in itself is, I mean, I still remember my home phone number from when I was like 10 years old, right? And who knows their family's phone numbers these days?
I have no idea what my kid's phone number. One of them I do because it's in the series. The rest of them, no idea. And if I lost my phone, I'd have no idea how to contact two of my kids.
Yeah. So if your phone gets stolen, broken, taken away, or you're in an emergency situation and your phone, for whatever reason, is not available, you got nothing. You can't go to a call box anymore. You can't reverse charges. You can't. I mean, I say reverse charges. Probably half my audience might not even know what that is.
Reverse charge. Lenny, that GBT. What's reverse charge? Hey Alexa. Hey Siri. What's reverse charge?
So of course, I mean, we had all these things in place when we were a lot younger, and of course, if you did have cell phones back then, and it went flat or it didn't work, or it got stolen, or it broke, you could go to a call box because you knew. I knew at least 20 different family members' numbers.
Yep.
And of course these days now, if the same thing were to happen, you like I say, your identity, your whole personality, you are gone. The physical you is here, but
Right.
but that's
we can make an avatar yourself up. I don't need my physical me. I can 3D me, I can deep fake me, I can avatar me. The key is, and we can end on this one if you want, we allowed it. We are accepting it. We want it. Now we need it, and they know that. So they pump it in through the tube, TikTok, to make sure that we're never with it, and we're always looking. Our eyeballs are on their apps because that's where the advertising is now, and therefore they make more money on the click-throughs. This is Joe's rule number 3 or 4. It's all about the money. I mean, this is that was same for newspapers and magazines and radios before. Now it's all that advertising. A lot of the advertising money is in this thing because your eyeballs are there. Your eyeballs need to be on TikTok, not on Facebook. What can TikTok do to make sure you're not on Facebook? Because we don't make any money over there.
That's it. Right. And each and every one of them, they're all fighting to get that dopamine rush in to make you want to, to keep you addicted, to make you keep wanting to.
How come I posted 10 seconds ago and I haven't had one share or like yet?
Yep.
Give me more. Yeah. And it's a fantastic tool. I can call my grandkids. They can call me. I'm connected with my brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I'd never be connected if it was just telephones. Happy birthday. See you next year.
Yep.
Now those dings that came in were my brothers. And it's just, it's fantastic. It's big R revolutionary.
Oh yeah.
But we need to understand that with all power comes consequences, right?
For sure. So, and for me, it's great. I mean, I got friends in the States. I got friends in Russia. I got friends all over the world. I got family in Australia, and and people here in the UK. And I move around a lot. So for me, it's great. I can keep my eye on my family, what they're up to. They can see what I'm up to. For networking, it's brilliant. For advertising and business purpose, it's fantastic. For investigating, it's phenomenal. Because the open source information on Facebook is like, hey, this is my life, and it's an open book. So for that side of it, it's brilliant. But like you say, there is the drawbacks, and a lot of people they almost feel compelled to show a life that they think everybody wants to see online, and you tend to get two people when it comes to this social media presence. And there's one that's, look at me, isn't my life great, and everything's wonderful, and this is what I'm having for breakfast, and I live this jet set life. And then you've got the other one who goes, I'm having a dreadful day, and
you're FOMOing now. How come my life isn't as good as theirs? The fear of missing out, which I do. I have imposter complex, and I have fear of missing out. Right? I don't think I'm that good a writer or an author. I'm making it up. I wasn't that good an intelligence officer. I wasn't that good at my Motorola. Once I get found out the truth about how me, people will know. This is also kind of in the next book, and then your fear of missing out, which everybody has. How come I didn't know about that thing? And if I don't have my phone on me, you're not going to be able to learn about what's going on. It's wonderful, and it's dangerous. We need to be vigilant in our use of digital.
It's probably simultaneously the worst and best invention of our era. I
like podcasts.
Yeah. Right then, I will let you go, Joe. Thanks again so much for joining us. Will you come back again at some point?
What was that?
Will you come back again at some point?
We can do this. I am here for you. I won't even ask for any more pay.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, your check is in the post, and obviously, when your next book comes out, we will do a nice big talk about that. And
read my stuff, read Gavin's stuff. You'll learn a lot more than you did. Read Gavin's stuff. You'll learn a lot more than you did before, for sure.
Oh, I got more on the way, and I'm gonna sit with you at some point, Joe. And we can exchange some notes.
Absolutely, anytime, and whatever I can do to help, let me know. That's my motto.
Oh, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Right, thank you for joining, everybody, and I'm going to end now.